And over on the left-hand side of the map, Metropolis, we have our pink Protoss player from Gamers Abyss. Winner of the last 2 games in a row, but still has to win 2 games in order for his team to take home the title. It is GA.KuDoKu. And his opponent off to the right-hand side from Tactical Carnage is IPTL, our purple Zerg player. Ha, I see, in response to the nice punctuation once again from GA.KuDoKu.
And you.
And also with you.
And you. You too.
And also with you.
And you. All right.
It is known.
It is known. So say we all.
Oh, God. We're just all the references. So the map is Metropolis. I really like this map for PvZ. Usually lends itself. Well, I just recall up the Startail Ace versus Liquid Chef game that we saw in here, which was insane for the first 40 minutes of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you usually have a lot of flexibility in Protoss builds. You can go for a quick 2 base because of the way the natural and third are separated by destructible debris. It's actually pretty well sequestered off, and with a pylon up at the top here, you can take out a Zerg opponent's third very quickly. Or you can go for that ultra defensive, really long Protoss strategy, which revolves around full walling this up here, making a robo, and knocking this down with Immortals to take a quick third.
Yep, all viable strategies here for Protoss, or you know, some Zerg strategies are equally effective. You can just macro all the way around the outside edge. That top side of the map is basically free for IPTL to try and hide hatcheries if he wants to, or you know, just progressively get up to 5. This is the first match, actually, that GA.KuDoKu is facing against a Zerg opponent. You're very kind.
It's your very kind, not you are
not
very
my
kind.
very kind.
He's just letting him know that it's your very kind.
It's not my very kind, though.
Yeah.
It's your very kind.
No, it's yours, but
it's not
not
mine,
you
though.
are.
It's not mine, though. It's yours. You are very
Yours.
kind. Anyway, it belongs to you. That's what I'm trying to say. But GA.KuDoKu hasn't faced a Zerg opponent yet. He's just beaten up on 2 Terran opponents who have kind of let him do whatever he wants and go kill them. So we'll see if IPTL is going to do the same sort of thing, or if he's going to put up a fight against the powerful GA.KuDoKu.
The powerful. We're already terming him.
He's powerful because his name rhymes with Goku.
That's
GA.KuDoKu.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yes.
And in this case,
and
though,
Sudoku.
It looks like he wants to. That is actually better than Goku.
More powerful.
So,
Sudoku
yes.
is more
Sudoku,
powerful
yes.
than Goku.
That's true.
I think
power level is actually in the millions.
I think certain Super Saiyans would disagree with
power levels just got ridiculous in Dragon Ball Z, though, because after a while, like I remember they were like, oh, it's power level 100. He gets the power to destroy a planet. And then eventually it was just in the billions and quit making sense.
Power level's just like the national debt in that regard.
Yeah.
It just got to a number that's made up and no one cared anymore.
But that's about right, though.
It's 11 bajillion.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I believe you. What do you? Like,
Sure.
doesn't matter. If it's higher than 100, then it's really bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna.
100 can kill planets.
It's gonna be a bunch.
90 bajillion.
Yeah.
Just levels galaxies.
Quintardian.
Yes.
I have no follow-up to that.
No, neither do I.
All right, cast is over. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening.
A more ridiculous number cannot be conceived of. Anyway, double gas for GA.KuDoKu. Things are looking very, very normal for him. And looks like he is going to fall wall off at the front. So I hope it is going to be that sweet defensive style. Revolves around knocking down those rocks and taking a third. And IPTL, on the other hand, nothing's looking out of the ordinary for him at all.
GA.KuDoKu keeps like chatting up his opponents. I keep expecting like DTs to suddenly start killing their hatch whenever they start the chat about Jazz Piano versus Bone Thugs in Harmony. But IPTL is taking a third hatch. I wonder if GA.KuDoKu even realizes what Bone Thugs is. If he's a classical jazz pianist, he might not know.
Duke Ellington, man. All about Duke Ellington.
Duke Ellington was a Bone Thug in Harmony, I believe.
I think you're correct, but also an accomplished pioneer of all things jazz. So
that's right. And he will meet you at the Crossroads, which is a Shoot Mania map. And we are giving away Shoot Mania keys. So
God, this is all coming full circle. This is amazing.
Back. Yes. So
we are wordsmiths. +1 weapons coming up, and looks like it was started just before Warp Gate Research, so indication, oh wow, actually with double gas just finishing up, that he may want to put on some pressure here in a bit. We'll see how much gas he actually intakes, building up to the point where he could start laying down some tech, but hasn't decided to do so quite yet.
Yeah, and IGNProLeague just now gathering his first little bit of gas, fighting off Zealots already in his main mineral line.
That is a brazen Zealot.
Yeah.
It got 2 kills.
He got 2 kills and he interrupted some mining, so not bad at all for a Zealot to do. The Roach Horn is complete now, but it looks like all of the larvae just got used for a round of drones, so not seeing any roaches just yet, and he did just start gathering up that gas again, so not really going to be able to afford too many roaches anyway, so as that goes up, oh, he's actually just going to get Zergling speed now instead of just focusing on mass roach. I really thought he might just try to do a roach all in there with off of 3 bases, but Twilight Council coming up now for KuDoKu. Blink is a possibility, but I actually wouldn't mind seeing some Dark Templar. It's been a while since we've had some excitement with those guys, and Zerg is actually one of the easier opponents to effectively use DTs just because they don't have scan.
Well, there's Twilight Council coming up, and looks like we are going to see.
He canceled one then, because
yes, he did have one coming up a second ago, but he wanted to make sure that the Overlord wouldn't be able to spot it, so he put it up just after the Overlord died.
Well, you better kill that other Overlord then, because there's another one right above it.
Dun dun dun.
It's like Jaws.
They're going to tickle him to death, and
as sentries are wont to do.
Yes. 3 gateways up in total, though, and Twilight Council's just about to finish up. Stalkers are already on the way, and the gas count is getting quite high, so I'm not sure what he's going to do with all of that. There we go. 2 more gateways coming up. 5 gate for the time being. Decided to quit working on the destructible debris.
So Blink Stalker, yeah, going to be just much more likely, and there it is, rather than the DTs that I kind of want to see. Maybe if we can go back in time and suggest subliminally to KuDoKu to build some Dark Templar, he'll do it. But so far, Blink Stalker is his build of choice off of 5 gates. Should be quite a large number of Blink Stalkers. And it looks like IPTL is going for Roaches, which don't do great against Blink Stalkers. So we'll see how he's eventually going to tech out of this. Probably Infestor is going to be the right choice for him. But he doesn't have, does he have a lair yet up? Yeah, he does. So Roach Speed has already started, so the lair is finished. He could make that infestation pit whenever he feels like it.
Could very well, but looks like he's going to wait for the time being. KuDoKu finally bringing in a few more units now, just continuing to increase that Stalker count. It's not terribly high at the moment, though. He's a little bit back in his production, a little bit slow. I think he was a bit indecisive at first, but it is going to be that all too familiar +2 blink timing that we see so much. And oh, perfectly placed Changeling.
Changeling just gets blasted in the face. The Overseer is actually flying over the main, checking everything out now. So Blink is going to be nearly complete by the time they encounter each other. These sentries might want to drop some force fields just to protect themselves, and finally do, but a little bit slow on the draw. He actually didn't lose any sentries, though, so still just fine for him. Blink is going to be finished so soon, but he's already started this pursuit, and he is going to actually... Wow, IPTL only pulling back to like 5, 6 roaches? That was kind of a weird decision to just not have them keep running, because now they're all going to die to this very large Stalker count, and now he's going to be at a weaker position for this next engagement.
Yeah, this has not been handled the best from IPTL quite yet. KuDoKu probably shouldn't be doing this much damage, but now that Blink is done and +2 weapons is going to finish here momentarily, this is actually a pretty bad position for IPTL.
I did not realize there was a pylon up on the high ground right where they were fighting. 4 more Stalkers just got warped in during the fight and forced IPTL back once again. 6 roaches in production. This doesn't look like that much of an army here for IPTL, despite having a much larger supply count. And Blink is going to be on KuDoKu's side here, but he's going to have to use it effectively or risk losing all of these Stalkers pinned against the corner.
Yeah, this is actually not a good position for him, and all of a sudden IPTL is able to kind of turn this around. What could have been a very nice spot for KuDoKu has kind of turned... I don't actually know what that is, or whatever. Okay, whatever. So now IPTL has a pretty good force on the field and a little bit better defensive position. Spinecrawler's pretty much going up everywhere. Most of those over at the natural, though.
That was a very confusing discussion they had, but I'm assuming someone lagged, someone paused, I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens as we continue on here. Lots of roaches following KuDoKu, and it looks like this could actually be really scary because it's 133 supply against only 78. That 50 supply lead is nothing to shake a sneeze at.
Yes,
I'm just combining them
all of
because,
them.
I mean, we say them both so much. But +3 weapons is coming up for KuDoKu. He at least has those upgrades rolling on his side, but that supply count is so hugely different. And KuDoKu's done a great job against his Terran opponents so far, but this Zerg opponent is giving him some trouble, it looks like.
It is nothing to sneeze or shake at, and This is bad. LOL, says KuDoKu.
Lol.
We'll see if he's going to be able to hold on here. This Forge going down very quickly.
Go DTs? Oh, he hasn't. Oh, he's saying he's telling him to go DTs.
Yes.
I agree. So at least Izual got the message, and he is going to tell KuDoKu to go, build some Dark Templars for us to enjoy.
I'm not sure why Izual attacked through that, though. That was not the best of positions for him to be in. It looks like KuDoKu has... Did he warp in a little bit behind the line? I think he did, because a few workers have actually gone down. My apologies. So looks like that's how he was able to even up the supply so much. Yes, he defended that quite well, but did some economic damage behind as well.
Well, Blink Stalkers, of course, are wonderful because real men drill deep, as that banner says. But Blink Stalkers are great because you can just blink them back as they're injured. And, of course, the ones in the front still have full shields. And you can make them last effectively about twice as long just by, protecting those ones with the really low HP. You can see he's got a few of those, some veterans from earlier fights now back with full shields. So he is going to just have to be careful with his blink. He can blink back 2, 3 at a time. There he does. And just make sure that only shields are being damaged while the roaches are taking actual health damage. The lings are going to run in and not be too effective at anything. But now it's purely a game of stalker number versus roach numbers. Why has Izual's economy slipped so much? His production is down to, he's under 100 supply now. He built an infestation pit and a spire and +2 range upgrades all at the same time rather than just re-maxing.
Yeah, but he hasn't redroned at all after taking those economic losses we were talking about before. So he's actually having to redrone right now, but he was only on 44 workers. So his economy was really, really far down. And that's where he has plenty of gas now left over for Spire units if he wants them. And Hive's actually making its way out, so we will see Broodlords here eventually. But he's got to put everything back into his economy.
Man, he was 60 supply ahead like 3 minutes ago, and every encounter that they have just seems to go worse for him. 2 more forges coming up now for KuDoKu, despite already being at +3 attack. That's kind of an interesting... Oh, what?
No, the +3 attack was canceled whenever
okay.
he initially came through. So, and actually deciding to go after shields, he canceled armor there and decided to go after shields.
All right. Why not? Well, with Blink Stalkers, it helps, right? Because it's shield... shields are basically what's going to be taking all the damage in those big Roach versus Stalker fights. So I actually kind of like that move. Robotics Bay coming up now, so Colossi can start to be produced as well. The Robotics Facility number 2 just starting as well. A couple of cannons there being dropped to protect that 3rd base, and it looks like Izual will be moving on to a 5th base here. So he is actually eventually going to take that whole top side of the map like we suggested earlier. But look at this concave. If Izual attacks into that, he's going to just be very sad, and Blinkstalker should be able to defend against this if he pulls all his probes and blinks up quickly enough.
Yeah, but that may pull his units out of position as well for the defense. Nice job only blinking back a few Stalkers. It's going to minimize the effect of this attack cast coming down the middle. Oh no, Izual! Oh, those roaches will die if they all keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for KuDoKu, he only traps a couple of those.
Look
Could have
at
got a
that.
lot more, but thankfully Izual sends a few more up to him to kill.
Yeah, he gives him a few gift roaches. The armor had not finished upgrading just yet.
Never look a gift roach in the mouth.
Yeah, just look at it, peripherals, because it's ugly and you don't want to look at its mouth. It's a roach.
I never understood
a gift roach.
That saying, though, never look a gift horse in the mouth.
I can totally Google it during your next play-by-play, but...
Well done. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, so play-by-play. There is
right.
actually a Greater Spire coming up now, and as we see, Stargate's already on the way for KuDoKu, so he's eventually going to transition up into that Fleet Beacon and Mothership. And, oh, Izual trying to get back in with these Mutalists one more time, but he just lost 4 of them on the way out to these Blink Stalkers. So KuDoKu just doing a great job holding on here, and it looks like he's about to take his 4th base.
All right, so 4th base coming up for him. He's actually tied up supply. Very, very well done. Just basically staying back as much as he can and just winning every engagement, with Blinkstalker mobility. He's able to defend against Mutalisks, he's able to do quite well against those big waves of roaches. But now Infestors are starting to hit the field in higher number. We've got Corruptors coming out, and the Greater Spire will be done very soon for him to actually morph on over to Broodlords.
Yeah, but I mean, his economy still hasn't... Well, I mean, he's up to 96 drones now, yes, don't get me wrong. But it hasn't kicked in soon enough for him to be able to fight back the tide of units that's coming out of KuDoKu. And KuDoKu's already far ahead in terms of technology. With that Fleet Beacon on the way and actually using it, as we see the first few Broodlords are coming up now. But KuDoKu... I don't know. I like his spot. He seems like he's got the more well-developed army. He seems like he's got a better grasp on the game. So you are nodding. You have apparently found out where the phrase "Don't look a gift horse in the mouth" comes from.
Don't lick a horse ever, but
Yeah,
don't
that's a
look
fact.
a gift horse in the mouth. So if I were to give you a horse,
Uh-huh.
that horse would be a gift horse.
Correct.
The reason that they say don't look a gift horses in the mouth is because you can actually determine a horse's age by the length and shape of its teeth.
Huh.
So if I give you a free horse and you immediately just look at its mouth to see how old it is, that's insulting, right?
All right.
So it's like, don't take it for granted.
I
Don't look
accept
a gift
this.
horse in the mouth. It's saying, basically, if I give you a horse, don't just immediately, offend me
Try
by
and,
saying,
like,
oh, you're
pick
giving
it
me this old
apart.
horse.
Yeah.
I could have got a young horse. Why'd you give me this old horse?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we have a pretty big battle right here as the Blink Stalkers unfortunately getting right underneath the Broodlords. They're just not able to get anything done. Fungals are pinning down a couple of units, but unfortunately for Izual, everything just gets obliterated.
I can't believe that the power of these Blink Stalkers. KuDoKu is just walking all over Izual with these Blink Stalkers, just keeping them alive as long as possible, winning every engagement, keeping as many alive as he can. He doesn't have to spend money on more Stalkers. He just only has to tech up into Mothership and Colossi and such. And now Templar Archive is on the way, so he can even move into Storm soon.
And that Mothership's going to be done pretty soon.
Or
It's actually,
Archons.
already a good portion of the way done. Yeah, I mean, certainly will want those Archons here. Looks like he's even setting up for a position to blink into this 5th base. He may be down a base on his opponent and a little bit down in workers at the moment, but there's a little overemphasis in drones for now. Izual's trying to put out as many Broodlords as he can, but I don't know if he'll be able to make enough in time.
What are the Roach upgrades currently sitting at? 3-2. Okay, so
Pretty good.
He has been working on them. They've eluded me in the production tab. I haven't noticed really. 6 gates all being produced at one time for KuDoKu, so finally he's reaching that max supply, and he knows that he can just sit back and wait for huge rounds of warpins if his army were to die, but he's been doing such a great job keeping everything alive. He's actually got 2 fronts going on here near the base of Izual. He can blink up there with those Colossi. That could be his main attacking force, and then he can send in these other 12-ish Stalkers into the main, or sorry, the 5th base of Izual. The main taking incredible damage already. All those forces being drawn down. Oh my god, he's executing this just amazingly, killing that hive with his main attacking force, and now jumping right in as soon as the forces start to move. He is going to kill so much here.
And things were so bleak for KuDoKu at the beginning of this game as well. And the second
Oh
layer
my
that was
goodness.
underway in response to the first one going down is actually taken out. And KuDoKu, despite the fact that it looks like he's going to lose a good portion of his force here, has done quite a bit of damage to his opponent. Yes, it looks like these Colossi are goners. Unfortunately, they're only going to take out Broodlings, a few of them, but only Broodlings. But all the while, the Blink Stalkers are just running over everything.
But they did their damage. They worked as a perfect ruse, basically, for these other Stalkers to come in and start doing some damage as well. 27 workers killed so far, and they've basically got an open door to keep killing things until these roaches come respond to this. Even the spawning pool taking some damage. It should actually go down before all these Stalkers can be killed off, so he's going to have to build another spawning pool. There's another Greater Spire in production right now. Storm is nearly finished for KuDoKu. Everything is going his way. Very well orchestrated attack, and he built those 6 gateways so that he can remax very quickly with his existing bank.
Wow. All right, so Izual is in a really bad spot now. Archons are thrown in here. It looks like, yeah, more High Templar are being added into the mix. So a very staggeringly strong force once again as we have 3-3-3 upgrades on the way now for KuDoKu.
Very nice KuDoKu, making lots of Archons for potential toilet action. Izual lost that hive, obviously, and another layer. He's building 2 spawning pools right now so that he can eventually start producing Zerglings again.
He has a lot of Broodlords right now,
yeah,
but
he's got 8 in production,
nothing
too.
to back them up.
Yeah, once these roaches get killed off by the Colossi and Archons, those Broodlords are going to be so exposed to the Blink Stalkers and the Archons themselves that it's going to be very, very difficult for Izual to actually win with this unit composition. He needs more Infestors and Lings, basically, to make sure this goes off well.
All right, well, KuDoKu's running up through the front now, and there's really... I don't know, man. I mean, that is a lot of Broodlords. Do not get me wrong. There's a lot of Broodlords, but there's no Overseers here to be able to detect any of the cloaked units. There's no Infestors around to either Neural Parasite the Mothership or drop down Fungals, reveal units, and lock them in place. This is going to be so tough for Izual.
That's right, and actually this is kind of weird. KuDoKu's got 3 fronts going on. The Blinkstalkers are not going to be able to get to the Broodlords from that angle, so they're actually not going to participate in most of the fight. They're fighting Broodlings mostly. There's a Vortex in the middle that is actually going to suck up some of those Broodlords, and the Corruptors get picked off by the Stalkers and Archons, and yes, he has managed to segregate the force of Izual enough that he can actually just pick off 3 different sections of forces. These Broodlords are still hovering in kind of a weird spot, but the Mothership itself does a lot of damage, don't forget, and it can actually help pick off these Broodlords no problem. There's the GG from Izual, and KuDoKu wins 3 straight.
No kidding. So we're actually going to game number 9. It's time for an ace match.
All right, so